Sam Rami is confirmed to direct the Doctor Strange sequel. John Krasinski may finally be making his MCU debut. PS5 may be a rare commodity in its first year of launch, and more on your Herd with Nerds.
All right, welcome on into the podcast. I'm Brett,
I am Dorian.
and we got some news for you. We got some movie news to start off. Talking about the MCU specifically in Disney, but Sam Rami is confirmed to direct Doctor Strange 2. There had been talks. Now it's confirmed. What's going on with that, Dorian?
Well, I mean, we heard a couple months ago, I want to say, that, he might actually be doing the directorial position for this movie. And, now we actually have confirmation, which, he's actually not Marvel's first choice. There was somebody else. I forget who he was, but he was going to be the director for this movie initially. And then he dropped out. So now they're approaching Sam Rami to essentially fill in the role for that, for the director for this movie, which, this movie is supposed to be kind of more along the horror line somewhat, which
Yeah.
I don't even know what a horror movie in the MCU looks like, just because typically they're pretty lighthearted in terms of dark content or whatnot. They're
Right.
they're not super dark, not super scary,
Mhm.
for a more general audience. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what that actually looks like here. But that being said, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I am not a big fan of his Spider-Man trilogy, to be honest with you. I
No,
kind of
yeah,
think,
I think it was good for its time. Like I like 1 and 2, 3 I couldn't care
sure,
for. But as a kid, I remember, pretty legit movies because there was nothing else. But now looking at them, you're kind of like, and that's kind of
yeah,
like my thought too. Is like, okay, he made Spider Man.
yeah.
What else
Which I
has he
mean,
done recently? Like what
I
else?
mean,
He's a horror guy. Like that's his mo. And so,
yeah,
can
that's
he
his shtick.
actually make a good movie in this current climate? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, he has he has made some horror movies like recently. I don't know if you know. I think it came out like either last year or the year before, but I don't know if you remember or not. But it's that one where this lady is trapped in a house with her dad during like a flood, and like an alligator is like
No,
on the loose in the house and all that.
I have never heard of that movie.
It's a real movie. I think it's called
Okay.
Crawl. It's
Okay.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, I think he did that movie. And here's the thing: I'm not a horror movie guy, so I can't.
No, me neither.
I don't really go and see them, and I would even know really what would be considered a good horror movie and what wouldn't be considered a good horror movie. Like probably the furthest I can go, like horror movie wise, is like maybe A Quiet Place, and
Oh, okay. So yeah,
that's
for
about
me,
it.
it would be like A Quiet Place or Get Out.
Yeah. Get Out I can do here, which I mean that was actually a pretty good one, but that one wasn't like
It's more thriller suspense with a
yeah. I mean
little bit of horror in there.
yeah, I would say so. Yeah, but
But yeah, anyway.
um, yeah, no. So I mean, I don't know. It's obviously Marvel seems to have confidence in him, which typically is a good sign. I mean, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I definitely think he has to not bring like the energy that he brought to the Spider-Man movies, and then he has to kind of tap into something else, because obviously Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, two very different characters. And also I think just in today's day and age, in terms of making a superhero movie, you try to make or you try to do what you did with like the original Spider-Man movies, you're going to be coming up short.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it may be interesting because it's called the Multiverse of Madness. Then bringing in Sam Raimi Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't. I feel
I don't
like
know how I feel about it, but
I don't know. Well, I mean, it'd be a fun little nod here and a fun
sure.
cameo, but I think ultimately you're gonna have to go through like a lot of red tape with just like rights, licensing, just to have a cameo. And I think like ultimately what's gonna happen is the studio's gonna be like, yeah, this is just too much trouble and effort just to do like one silly little cameo for Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
No, agreed. Yeah. Yeah. So within the Marvel universe, John Krasinski has officially met with Marvel Studios. This is
Mm-hmm.
something I think a lot of people were already kind of figuring. He had, um, previous meetings with Marvel in the past. He had auditioned for Captain America back in the day,
Yeah,
it obviously went to Chris Evans. Um, and like a lot of people from the fan art side of it have been doing him as Reed Richards, which I think honestly is probably the route they're going to go with him, Mr. Fantastic. And I honestly, he fits the kind of the look. I think he could do like a really like an updated version of Mr. Fantastic. Kind of because he's
yeah,
fun. He's a funny guy.
yeah,
Where
yeah,
Reed
yeah.
Richards is usually more serious, but I think they could, you know, kind of Krasinski him up, and
Make
because
him more charming
yeah,
and
more.
more yeah.
I mean, even he doesn't even have to be charming, but just funny and because he has to be a leading man for this new Marvel universe we're in, and we don't really have that character quite yet. I don't think. Um, and who knows? Because there's been even rumors I know of doing Young Avengers before another Avengers movie.
Hmm.
And then who knows when Fantastic Four would even come into the fold. I'm hoping sooner than later because I really do like the Fantastic Four. I grew up with them, and but yeah, I think he's going to do a really good job in whatever role they're going to put him in. So I just hope it's a big
Yeah,
role. I hope it's a big role. I hope it's not like
yeah,
a
like
one
just
timer movie or a
yeah,
little
one
role
and done.
here. It just
Yeah,
doesn't seem like they would do that. I don't think.
yeah,
And his wife's already parted Disney with
yeah.
the
Mary
movie.
Poppins and all
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So kind of makes sense, and I hope she's in it. I think she could do. I think if that'd be crazy if they were, if she was
Reed Richards and Sue
Sue
Storm.
Richards, yeah, Sue
Yeah,
Storm, Sue Richards eventually, but yeah, Sue Storm and
yeah, yeah.
so
Well, on that note, I mean, I don't know if this is like necessarily like the new look for Reed Richards per se, but I don't know if you've seen like the Fantastic Four DLC for the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game that's coming out.
no, I have
Uh,
not.
but okay, so they just recently did like Fantastic Four where they added the Fantastic Four to the roster, which kind of surprising that they weren't already in that
In the
game,
movie,
but
yeah.
yeah, but regardless, so but Mr. Fantastic has a beard.
Oh crap!
Yeah, he has a beard, and I mean, it's
Did
so
you hear that music that
that
was
that.
playing?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good. That was on my computer then. I clicked on I was trying to find the picture of it, and I clicked on a trailer.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
he's got a beard.
I thought you were just reacting to the fact that he had a beard or something.
No, I
but
think it's
but
funny. It's
but
weird.
no, but
That's John
Krasinski,
Krasinski.
that's John Krasinski. That's
Yeah.
absolutely John Krasinski. Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, in terms of this whole news, I mean, it definitely seems like it's a matter of time, just because obviously John Krasinski is a very likable actor. He's also, you know, definitely seems very talented. I mean, he's been doing quite a few things.
Yeah.
Obviously, he directed both Quiet Place movies. He
Yeah.
also is what's that one show that he's starring in? Jack Ryan, is it?
Jack Reacher.
Is it Jack Reacher? I thought that was Tom Cruise.
You're right. It's Jack Ryan.
Okay, so
That was Tom Cruise.
yeah,
Oh,
so
the reason I thought of that is because I just saw I saw an article that Dwayne the Rock Johnson was going to be
Jack
Jack
Reacher,
Reacher,
yeah,
but Tom
yeah,
Cruise beat him out.
yeah. So, but anyhow,
Yeah,
so
Jack Ryan.
yeah, and then also, he did like 13 hours. So I mean, he's definitely experimenting a little bit with like, just being like the rom-com guy, the kind of, more humorous roles that he's kind of been
He
known for in the past and
right.
all that.
Definitely more
Um
serious roles in the current things he's in. He hasn't really been in anything else but that, I feel like though. Like
not not that I can recall, but I don't I mean, here's the thing. I mean, obviously like it definitely seems like, yeah, sure, like in terms of just on looks and all that, uh, him being like, Reed Richards seems like a pretty good fit. I just don't know if like is that going to be like the best use of his talents here, because I mean, I feel like if he was like, younger or something like that, he would make a perfect like Johnny Storm or something like that.
Oh,
Just with like,
100%. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I can't really think of like who else I would really want to see him play in,
Yeah.
the whole,
Not who's already been cast, at least. Like
yeah,
there's
exactly.
not a whole lot of other characters that they're gonna be pulling from that are gonna be main characters, I don't think.
Yeah.
Um I mean, I wouldn't want him as Cyclops.
No, no,
Um,
you don't cover up that face, man. You just
no,
don't.
no.
No, but no, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know about Cyclops here. I mean, I feel like you could legitimately get like like tons of people to play Cyclops. I mean, he's just pretty much just a
It's
white
pretty
man with short
basic.
hair.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
Just get
I
James Marston again.
I mean, honestly, he wasn't bad.
He doesn't
I
look
mean,
any older.
he doesn't. No, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, but one thing I forgot to put in the show notes, but something that Hugh Jackman recently talked about.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard this.
Yeah, he was talking about how he understands, like, that his role as Wolverine is going to be recast here, which obviously, yeah, I mean,
Duh. You have to.
yeah, but the interesting thing is if Wolverine was able to be in the MCU, he would have still played Wolverine,
Yeah, I
which
heard that. That was interesting.
which yeah, no, I mean, which kind of a shame that the Fox Disney merger happened when it did happen, because if we could have gotten that like a little bit earlier, we could have actually had that Hulk Wolverine fight that I've always wanted to see on the big screen. But
Yeah.
but
But yeah, no, that's kind of it for our Marvel news. But talking about Disney, so let's talk about Disney Plus, Disney, that whole thing. As of now, Disney is projecting to lose around $30 million a day.
okay, so I do have a couple questions on that. So
Yeah,
is that due to the fact that like they haven't been able to release like any big movies like in the past like month or all that? Because I thought the only one that they've had like up their sleeve for a slated release was Mulan.
they had some others, yeah, but those ones are going to be going to Disney Plus. They weren't big movies. It was Oliver Twist, and then
And like
obviously,
Artemis Fowl.
or sorry, that's what I meant. Artemis Fowl, not Oliver Twist. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Artemis Fowl, and then obviously Onward had a shorter stint in the theaters. Um, Now, the biggest thing I see from this is not only are their parks closed, which is a huge moneymaker,
Yeah, no, it is.
um, their whole slate got pushed back. So think of all the revenue they would have had this year.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, here's the thing. It's Disney. They have more money than the Federal Reserve at this point here. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, because how many trillions of dollars are we in debt?
well, yeah, no, like I don't know, but you got to figure like, just last year, I think they had like about 4 or 5, maybe even more movies that
Over a billion.
made over a billion. Like we're talking like I think Captain Marvel made over a billion.
Yep.
And
Spider Man.
Endgame obviously, like I think it made 2 billion. Yeah, Spider-Man made a billion.
Mm-hmm.
Frozen 2 made a billion, Lion King made a billion, Aladdin made a billion, and Star Wars made a billion. So
Yeah.
I just
No.
counted 7 right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. And so I mean, a lot of that is I don't know if that's how much they make or bring in, because
Mhm.
you got to think of how much money they put into it. Now, right now, they're in a weird situation where they've forked out all this money to pay for all these
Oh yeah,
movies
like
and stuff, right? And they're not getting any revenue from it. So
yeah,
essentially, they're losing money each day
yeah,
they're sitting on it.
yeah. No,
Um,
that is accurate here.
because think about the movies they would have made next year, right?
Yeah.
Instead of starting now. Now their whole thing's getting pushed back. Now, you know, like you said, it's Disney. $30 million a day is a heck of a lot of money, though. Like
Oh, more
since
than I'll
the
ever see in my
quarantine,
lifetime.
yeah, since the quarantine happened, that's 900 and probably honestly probably more like they've probably lost $1 billion up to this point.
Yeah, they probably have here. I just think
Because a month
I
would be
just
900 million or 930 million,
yeah.
depending on the month. But it's a little bit over that now for a lot of places, and so that's over that's a big loss to take, regardless of how big of a company you are. $1 billion loss, like that's definitely gonna have ramifications, smaller or and probably little big that we don't know about yet.
No, I no, that is accurate here. I mean, yeah, obviously, a couple billion isn't like a small amount to lose here. I think the every entertainment industry right now pretty much has halted production on any of their projects here. So it's not
WWE
just.
just laid off a bunch of people.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
like there's and that WWE is huge.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but I think it'll be interesting to see exactly like, when this the shelter in place order and all that, when that whole business ends, just because obviously, the stuff that is already, supposed to come out this year pretty much is already, done. Like
Yeah.
like they might have to do just a couple of post production stuff and just really advertise and whatnot. But I mean, the actual project, the filming and all that, by and large, they're probably pretty much already done here. I think
Hmm.
they just have to essentially just like promote it and release it. Now, I mean, the interesting thing is going to be next year when the things that were supposed to come out got pushed back here, or may or may not get pushed back. That we might see like some crunch in the entertainment industry where you have like a big like push or big rush to like really play catch up to make sure like, okay, we are going to make this movie come out at this time, that way we can actually that way it's not going to be like a loss to the company or something like that.
Right. I mean, and we're not even factoring in the fact with the coronavirus and all that theaters will even be around in the next month.
Yeah.
With all
Yeah.
the bankruptcy potentially that's on the horizon for places like AMC and
Yeah.
um, like
Yeah.
they're
I
not
mean,
making money right now, obviously.
no, they are not. Well, I mean, yeah, and it's as of right now, I mean, like, it seems like maybe by next month things will start getting a little bit back to normal, or things will start opening up a little bit more. But they're talking about like how it's going to be, not quite the same as it once was. It'll be a little bit different, or like, there'll have to be more precautions in place to make sure that, the spread is not, happening as it has been here. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I do not know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some Disney Plus action.
Yeah.
Mandalorian is getting a behind the scenes documentary on Disney
Yeah.
Plus, which is
I mean,
cool.
I'm in.
Yeah, it's called Disney Gallery, and it will premiere May
Mhm.
4th, Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Um,
Good.
and
It's a good day to premiere stuff on.
totally, and it's gonna be 8 episodes long, and this is just like a behind the scenes making. I'm sure there'll be like a commentary, type of thing with maybe some of the cast. Talks about
Yeah.
how they filmed it, what they did, all that stuff.
I mean,
Um,
you get to see Baby Yoda behind the scenes. I mean, what more do you
yeah,
want?
there's not a lot. There's not a lot.
Nah. No, no, no.
And they sign me up for it. I mean, I'm all in. There's nothing really out right now. It, it can't come like it's only 2-3 weeks away, so I'm excited. I'm hoping for at least a tease from something of season 2.
Yeah.
And because Disney needs that Mando money, so
Yeah, I
um,
mean, no, they do need that Mando money, but it's kind of weird that they're putting this out now as opposed to like uh I don't know, like kind of closer to like after the Mandalorian finished its run and all that.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I get it because they're wanting to keep interest, and so and there's a whole they probably were shooting stuff and didn't realize. I mean, they probably realized it was going to be a pretty big deal, but maybe not as big as they thought.
yeah.
So, and they're probably been waiting because they've had stuff pretty consistently come out on, um, in other platforms, and so I don't know. I don't know if because of all the stuff it got pushed up. Like I could have seen this like being closer to season 2,
Yeah.
and leading into it. That would have
Yeah,
been
as like a promotional type of hype building and all that.
right.
Yeah.
So, but it's coming May 4th, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little about some gaming. Um, PlayStation 5 is going to have a limited stock potentially in its first year, being this year.
Yeah.
So, I know part of that is probably due to due to the current situation we're in as a nation.
Hmm.
Um, and so production hasn't been up to snuff over in Japan.
Yeah.
Um,
Or
but
wherever they're,
wherever they're processed, probably China.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
they, and so it's going to affect us obviously.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember back in, I don't even know what year that was, probably in early 2000s, 2007 or 8, 6, I don't know, 5. I think it was Xbox 360. Maybe it was
Hmm.
earlier. But Xbox
Yeah, because
360 came out and there was limited supply because they were selling out everywhere and people went insane.
yeah, yeah, I don't remember that one specifically. I do remember the Wii. That was
That was another
in
thing, yeah.
that was in short supply. And the Switch, like in short supply here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, yeah, scalpers had a field day with it.
Well, I mean, even like I'm gonna be prowling. I'm gonna be looking, not for me to keep, but I'll probably try to sell one.
I mean,
We'll
honestly,
see.
if yeah, if you can swing it, swing it. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, no, didn't you make like didn't you like make like some extra money with like a Zelda collector's
Yes.
edition? Yeah,
Yeah,
you did.
but I accidentally pre-ordered the collector's edition.
Yeah.
And so I went in to pay for it and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be like I don't know what was it, like 90 something dollars."
I think like
Or
120 maybe. I
yeah,
don't know.
something crazy
It's
and I was
been a
like,
while.
"Whoa, I just wanted the regular one." And they're like, "Oh, okay, but do you still want this one?" And I hopped on eBay real quick. I was like, "Yes, I'll take that one too."
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think I sold it for I made like $100 on it. I don't remember. But anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, so it's going to affect obviously a lot of things with PlayStation, their sales.
Hmm.
Um and the price mark on it is just a little too high for me. I'm out as far as buying a PlayStation 5 anytime soon.
For yourself, you mean
For
altogether?
myself, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're looking right around the $500 mark, which I'm like,
That's what it's projected here. I mean,
if it doesn't
which
come out for 400, I don't think that it's going to sell very much.
it's hard to say. I mean, ultimately, both Xbox and PlayStation have been kind of coy on their price point because I think ultimately what they're trying to do is they're trying to see who blinks first
Then you
because
just undercut them
it
by $50.
well, right, exactly. Well, that's what happened with the Xbox One. Like, Xbox said, "Okay, we're going this route, and we're also charging you, like about $500 for this console here." And
Yeah,
and Sony was like, "Hey, we're not going to have a whole bunch of controversial decisions with our console, and we're going to be $100 cheaper here." And I
yeah.
mean, that's ultimately what basically put uh, Microsoft in its grave for this generation here. So I think, yeah, I think they're just kind of waiting to see who's going to who's going to undercut who basically because the $500 mark, yeah, I mean, that's steep. I mean, granted, like consoles have been getting more and more expensive as the years have been going on, but I don't know. I think ultimately they might try to go like the 450, 400 mark because that's what people were willing to pay for a PS4. So
Yeah, I mean, I can see them going around there, but I mean, we'll see. I think that right now Xbox kind of has the upper hand. They've revealed their
mhm.
system. They've been honest about what titles are coming to it.
Yeah,
Um,
and
which
complete
they pretty much
backwards.
said, yeah, complete
Yeah.
backwards compatibility, and they pretty
Hmm.
much come out and said, hey, and they just lowered their Xbox One Elite price.
Oh, did they? Okay,
Yeah, so I think
499 or something like that.
no, I think it was lower. I can't
Really?
remember. Yeah, One Elite price drop.
Oh, you mean the console, not the Xbox Live service?
Correct. Yeah, the
Oh,
console
okay, yeah, my bad.
itself. I think they dropped it by at least $100.
Oh,
Something like
really?
that. Yeah, because they want people to be able
Interesting.
to play their stuff. Because for the first year or so, most stuff is released on both,
Yeah,
right?
no, exactly.
And they even said like we don't have anything from first party that's going to be out the first year or so. So
Yeah.
we
Which I
just want you to
mean,
play on the system, so you can have our elite, which is going to have
yeah,
very not the exact graphic compatibility that our Xbox X series is
you
going
know,
to have, but
right.
it's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean,
So you
it's
can upgrade to that.
right. Well, and they've definitely they're definitely doing some you know, I think they're earning some goodwill just with the fact that if you buy, a game on Xbox One, you can legitimately upgrade it for free and get the
Yeah,
Xbox Series X version
that,
when you buy the Xbox Series X.
and that's honestly what I'm saying is like their Xbox is just I think ahead of the curve. Uh,
Yeah, they're definitely more consumer friendly, at least at this point in time. And they have the Xbox Game Pass, which I mean, I haven't used it, but I hear is like a really dope service. It's basically kind of like a Netflix gaming service, basically for like new or older games.
yeah, I've heard good things. I don't have an Xbox. I mean, I've we had a poll up on Facebook, and I voted for PlayStation 5 in this next generation. But honestly, with all the features, and I'm a socialist when it comes to video games.
Yes, you are.
If it's not cheap, I won't buy it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But that's pretty much my thought process, which is why I have a Switch.
yeah,
But like give me like make me want to buy you. PlayStation needs
right.
to come out with something soon saying, "Hey, yeah, we're backwards compatible. We're this, we're that." The
Yeah.
fact that Xbox is honoring all the stuff that you've bought on a previous console and it's going to be upgraded graphics and all that, when if
Hmm.
they do it, like that's huge because I have a lot of stuff on PlayStation that's
Yeah.
downloaded.
Yeah. No, and I mean, yeah, it's no, I mean, obviously Xbox has been more upfront and like actually has pulled back the curtain more on their console. PlayStation, we still don't even know what the box looks like. We know the specs, we know what the controller looks like. Uh, but outside of that, we still don't know a whole ton really in terms of like, okay, what games are going to be available at launch? Because ultimately, that's what I care about the most. It's like, do you have a killer app that is saying, okay, you know, our new shiny new box. Here's a reason to buy it here because ultimately, I don't want to, just buy it just for the fact that I have a four, I have like a 4K setup. I got like the most advanced console on the market. Blah blah blah. But I don't have anything to play on it or anything
Right.
that's worth playing here. It's probably going to be pretty similar to how this generation rolled out, where the first year you didn't have like a ton of like bangers or exclusives for that system. And matter of fact, there was like a lot of cross generational games that were coming out. Like the new Call of Duty would be both on like the new gen and the old gen. Same with like a lot of the Ubisoft games and the big games of the fall here. So it's
Hmm.
really kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, if you're gonna tell me I need to buy this console, you need to show me why. Like give me a game, give me a killer app that says, yeah, this is only possible on PlayStation. You can't
Yeah.
play this anywhere else. Like we can't play the PS4 cannot run this game.
Right.
So
Yeah. We'll
yeah,
see. We'll see. I guess. And then a PlayStation in other news is giving $10 million for indie developers impacted by COVID-19.
yeah. I mean, PlayStation, just being a bunch of homies right now here, I mean, and another thing that they're doing is they are giving two free games, whether you're PlayStation Plus or not, if you have that service or not. You get the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection for free, and you also get Journey for free up till like May 5th
What's
as part of
Journey?
the it's like a smaller like indie game. It's basically kind of like a platformer puzzle. It's not bad. I mean, and you can't go wrong with the price of free.
No,
But
you can't.
no, I mean but no, I mean it's this is kind of part of their stay at home initiative here for COVID-19, which I mean hey, good on them here. I mean
Yeah,
um
totally.
and yeah, and definitely like giving $10 million to like some of the smaller guys that help them out. I mean, it's nice to see a big company actually help out the little guy, especially when you know they may not be like, essential to like their revenue. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. I think it's cool that they're doing this, but where's Bill Gates at? Why isn't he
Uh,
giving the world like $1 billion or $1 trillion
I
like we
think
got?
I think Bill Gates is too busy lecturing people on like the COVID-19 vaccine, which last I
Probably.
checked, I don't think he has a doctorate's degree, but
No, he doesn't.
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. In the same vein of video games, there's a leak that happened, and they just came out with a trailer for this game called Crisis.
Hmm.
Crisis was initially a PC game, came to console, so the first Crisis game is going to be remastered.
Hmm.
I love these games. I remember playing them a lot. My dad was a huge fan of them. And I remember, like I guess the standard was back then, if you're a PC gamer, can your PC handle Crisis
Right.
when the first one came out?
That was like essentially the standard here. It's like, oh, do you think your PC is good? Can it run Crisis? And most PCs couldn't. That's like
Right.
how advanced the game was. And yeah, I remember that being like the graphical standard for like games back then.
Yeah. And so I
Yeah.
loved them. I played them on Xbox, and I remember CB would stay at my house and either play late at night and like overnight. Like he'd stay up all night playing the Crisis games
Yeah.
and see how
Yeah.
many
And
trees he could shoot down.
yeah, I mean, Seabrecht has our Seabrecht friend of the show has a really odd way of playing video games, as we kind of come to debate just even this week here.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I've never played any of these games, to be honest. I couldn't care less, but for the people who did enjoy them and want to play them again, go figure.
Yep. Well, that's it for our nerd news. We're gonna take a quick break and be back with our roundtable review. All right, we're back from our roundtable review. Dorian, take it away.
Well, ain't got much, but it's something. Clone Wars, uh episode 9 of season 7.
Yeah.
Here's a real question.
Yes.
Real talk.
Okay.
Why wasn't this season 7 episode 1?
Exactly.
Because honestly, this really kind of felt like it could have been a lead off for a season. And
I think it might have been in the beginning, because did you see that graphic at the beginning of the episode?
yeah, no, like the graphic and like there's just like a lot of things different about like this episode. And I think we'll probably see that at the beginning of these next
Few
episodes, or
episodes.
these last 3 episodes that we have left here. But yeah, no, it was kind of an odd like difference in transition compared to what we were getting here.
Yeah, and even the Clone Wars itself was red, like the
Yeah,
graphic. I was like, huh, that's weird. And they had like a weird
yeah,
Lucasfilm thing at the beginning. Um,
exactly. Yeah,
so yeah, I think this was definitely so. Let's just start off with talking about the episode, I guess. But
yeah,
it was titled Part One: Old Friends Never Not Forgotten.
yeah.
And we have officially arrived in the episode 3 time frame.
Yeah,
As
we're in that territory basically.
we're
Like
literally like, yeah, we're right. This episode probably takes place minutes before episode 3 happens.
yeah. So, quick question, because well, actually, it's might developed a little bit into a tangent.
Okay.
Now, before this this movie or this show became a thing here, do
Hmm.
you remember the Clone Wars cartoon
Yeah.
that was like 5-minute chapters
Yep.
that aired on Cartoon Network? Okay, so you remember how did you watch it all the way to the end, like all the episodes or whatnot?
I think I've probably seen most of them. I don't remember if I saw all of them.
Okay, because the end of that show does lead into episode 3, and like pretty much the same way, where they have General Grievous attacking Coruscant, and they're taking the Chancellor basically,
Hmm.
and they actually like show how that whole thing plays out, how he actually gets into Coruscant, how he actually captures the Chancellor and all that other stuff, and how he developed the cough from an encounter with like Mace Windu and all that. But yeah, so it's kind of weird that's like no longer canon from what it seems like, because Obi-Wan and Anakin were doing something completely different at the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it might have taken a while for Grievous to get into there, and maybe that's why they were on their way. I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, those probably aren't canon. Um, so finally, we're back to Anakin and Obi-Wan. Ahsoka reaches out to them, trying to get their help to capture Maul on Mandalore. Uh,
Yeah.
well, and there's some stuff that developed too with Maul, like he murdered the leader of the Mandalorians, which was like Obi-Wan's love interest in a couple seasons back. She was
Yeah.
the ruler. And I thought it was interesting. So then you have Rex and the crew. They're back, the 501st, and
Mhm.
they painted their helmets like Ahsoka's face,
Yeah.
which I was like, I don't know, it kind of seems racist to me.
Yeah,
But
doing some red face, orange face, or Ahsoka face, however you want to call it
but then it,
here.
it made more sense because they had the Ahsoka face, and then you get these Mandalorians basically that didn't defect with what's
Yeah,
her name?
Maul and all that.
Yeah, like they didn't defect, and so they're part of the Maul organization, so they kind of painted their armor like Maul's face. So
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get that kind of contrast. Um, Anakin gives her a gift, her old lightsabers, but he turned the crystals to blue ones because he's like,
What
yeah, they're back but better.
what were the colors beforehand?
They were like different hues of green. So one was like a more traditional green, and one was like a lighter, almost yellow green.
Okay.
Yeah. So another blue.
Okay.
So yeah, the Republic's under attack. Episode 3 is literally happening, or at least just starting to happen in the background. Maul has his own Mandalorians, which is kind of interesting to me. That he was able to kind of get in with the Mandalorians, and they weren't like fighting back with, especially with the lore that surrounds their people.
Right, yeah.
But Ahsoka is a bad mamma jam in this when she's like hopping from ship to ship and just
Yeah,
annihilating the
yeah,
Mandalorians.
no, that was dope, yeah.
And then I really liked. I mean, we're obviously skipping through this pretty quickly, but just watch the episode if you want the full details. The little mini shields the Mandalorians have are sick. Like the Mando
Yeah,
needs to have one in season 2.
yeah. No, absolutely, yeah.
So I think this was like I wrote this in the notes too. This I
Mhm.
believe was intended to be the start of an action-packed mini season or a movie potentially to end the Clone Wars out.
Yeah, no, I mean, because there's been rumors about like the last season of Clone Wars because like the stuff that we've gotten like the first 8 episodes like the Bad Batch, um the Ahsoka storyline with the two sisters, like that was apparently supposed, from what I've heard, I don't know how true it is, was supposed to be like it's part of like its own season that wasn't meant to be a final season here. So, which I mean, if that's true, it makes sense because those episodes really didn't feel like they were part of a final season, whereas like
No.
this episode is like probably the first episode that actually does feel like, okay, now we're getting into like, actual like series finale territory.
Yeah. And I mean, even with that intro and all that stuff, like part 1, like I was like, oh, okay, well, this was definitely intended to be the end. And yeah, the Bad Batch was initially an idea from a different season. I don't know about the
Mhm.
girls. We'll see how any of that plays into these last few episodes. If it doesn't, then it's honestly like different seasons to me. Um,
Yeah.
no, overall, I thought it's the best Clone Wars episode so far
Yeah.
in this season, and I'm looking forward to the next few. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if this is kind of what we have to expect for the next 3 episodes, then they're at least going to end it with a bang instead of just, a whimper. But yeah.
totally. All right, well, that's it for our show this week. We hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you check us out on our Facebook. We're doing some stuff on there, so make sure you pay attention and tell a friend who tells a friend that this is going on, and so we can continue to make awesome content for you guys. Have a great week, and remember, everyone's a nerd about something.